Hey everyone, welcome to my review of Fairy Fencer F Advent Dark Forces. As you can tell, I'm using a different mic. I will have a new setup with video coming soon, so that's going to be great. Fairy Fencer is a JRPG developed by CompileHeart and published by Idea Factory. This game went through a little bit of different versions throughout the last 2 years. It originally came out in 2015 on the PlayStation 3 and got a re-release in 2016 on the PlayStation 4. Now we have the definitive version released on the PC and I finally got to play it. The story of Fairy Fencer is quite interesting, if somewhat cliche. Long ago, the vile goddess and goddess were locked in an eternal battle for the fate of the world. They were sealed using weapons called the Furies. Residing in each Fury is a fairy of immense strength. Fast forward thousands of years and the world has changed. Special individuals have acquired the ability to use these Furies and fairies contained inside. They are called Fencers. The power of each fairy differs drastically, as some can be considered C-class and all the way up to the S-class. We take control of Fang and his fairy Aaron. Fang is a trope, there's no way around that. He is the typical lazy anime protagonist that really only cares about food. I mean, the reason he attempts to pull the Fury out in the first place is he's told he can grant wishes and he was hungry at the time. Instead, Aaron appears and tells him that she has lost her memories. Fang reluctantly agrees to go with her to help her on her journey, get her memories back, and revive the goddess. Along the way, they're bound to meet a variety of interesting characters. I actually enjoyed the story for the most part, outside of a weird time travel plotline that stalls the middle portion of the game out for me a little bit. There are multiple endings to get, there's 3 of them. I only got 2 of them as of this point, but I do plan on going back and getting the 3rd one at some point. I was not a huge fan of the second one, and I do think the first one was better, but I am interested to see what the 3rd one was. Each playthrough took me about 20 hours, give or take, so it isn't a crazy time investment. The game is a mix between a visual novel and a JRPG. The story is mostly told through still images of characters, although most of the dialogue is voice acted, and it's done quite well. It is quite funny to hear the characters argue, and they even break the 4th wall sometimes. The characters are all drawn really well and have just enough of a character arc to keep the average person interested. I will say, however, if the visual novel style of story turns you off, this game really isn't for you. There is a lot of visual novel style tropes. I'm not a huge fan of visual novels myself. I feel they tend to get very melodramatic and they're not all that interesting and they're kind of cliched and predictable, but this one I was able to get over and I did enjoy it. The game is very anime-ish, if that's even a word, as in the usual tropes appear in terms of presentation. The character models look straight out of an anime, and there are even some things like bathhouse scenes and some weird love tropes that you see in a lot of those kind of animes. They're not as bad as you would expect from this kind of game, and by that I mean it's not a dating sim. All in all, I felt the presentation is very well done and suits the game extremely well. The music is just alright. I never found anything that stood out to me. It was all just there to serve the story. It worked. It worked. Up next is the gameplay. I actually found myself enjoying the gameplay more than I thought I would. It reminded me of Grandia 2 on the PS2. The game is turn-based with free-form movement. What I mean by that is characters all appear within a 3D environment and you move them around to position for attacks. This can help you position into the right area to hit multiple enemies with your AoE attacks, but it can also backfire and cause you to get hit by enemies' AoE attacks. Each of the party members you acquire have unique skills as well as an element that they specialize in. Fang, for example, is fire-based. Each character can also fairize with their fury after hitting enough enemies or getting hit enough. This is due to a tension gauge that builds up near your character's health. Basically, the higher it is, the more damage you do, and the lower it is, the less you do. Missing attacks causes it to drop, which can be extremely frustrating at times when you're trying to build up to be able to use it. Once you build the gauge up to a certain point, you can transform into what I would basically call a transformer mode. It increases all your stats and gives you access to your ultimate attacks, which deal massive damage in exchange for a portion of your health. As you level up and gain experience, you will also gain weapon points. These can be used to upgrade your character's furies. The upgrades range from increasing your basic parameters such as physical attack, defense, range, fury form, and also unlock new combo slots. They can also be used to acquire new skills and magic. Once you put a point into your combo section, you unlock a second attack after your first basic attack. Each character can get up to 3 upgrades, which allows you to use up to 4 attacks. You unlock different combo skills to put in these slots through the weapon boost. Each character also has a number of weapons that their fury can change into, such as a sword, a spear, a gun, knuckles, and bows, among other things. This leads to some pretty insane variation on combos, and honestly, near late game, I found that just using 4 combo attacks were almost stronger than most of my skills. Fang became my hardest hitting character with only his basic attacks, but only on one single target. While the system has depth, I wouldn't say it's the most in-depth RPG system I've ever played, but there's enough there that you definitely see improvement within your characters. When I purchased the game, it was on sale and it came with DLC for about $6 more. So of course I picked that version up. I will say, and I'll show some gameplay, it almost broke the game. For my entire first playthrough basically, I had good enough gear that the enemies couldn't even hit me. They literally did 0 damage to me. And I was playing on hard. I wasn't even playing on normal. I also acquired some S-level fairies that you can equip which increase your basic parameters by a lot. And I mean a lot. Once they started to do damage to me, however, the fights became much more fun, and on my second playthrough I didn't even use those items to give myself even more of a challenge. It was a much better experience playing through like that instead of having crazy powerful items. So if you want the challenge, don't use the items. If you just want to experience the story, go ahead and use them and you'll literally blow through the game. In closing, I actually enjoyed my time with this game more than I thought I would, and I'm glad I picked it up. If you like JRPGs as well as anime, you'll definitely get a kick out of the game. I'm going to give this a solid 7 out of 10. It's not extremely groundbreaking, but it does a solid job of presenting an interesting story to play through with some solid, if not basic, RPG systems in place. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this review of Fairy Fencer F Advent Dark Forces. That is a long name. My next review will be Tales of Berseria, coming out within the next week probably. I'm just finishing it up. I should have had that review up as I'm about a month late on that one, but I needed a little more time to be able to save some money to actually buy the game. So look forward to that review by the end of the week. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode. Later.